I do want to say that I noticed in this movie that I didn't really remember from before. They really do take it somewhere almost to the nth degree, if you know what I
No,
mean.
they not almost.
Yeah, they
I
do.
I think
I was
that
like,
in one of those scenes, it is implied that they had public sex. Like,
Oh, and at the court.
yeah,
Well,
no,
not the
not
court, the
at
auction.
the school. At the
auction.
school, yeah.
No, the auction. The
Yeah,
auction.
the auction.
Oh, was that the option? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is heavily implied that they definitely
Wow.
had public sex right there.
But
And there it is, guys. Welcome back, everyone, to another amazing, fantabulous episode of Family Reels. You know, give it up for Family Reels.
I don't know.
That was not that was not my applause. Hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah, what happened?
Shh.
But
Family Reels.
okay. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Here it is. Here it is.
Both work. Both are appropriate.
Now,
Both are appropriate.
Mhm.
And sometimes you just gotta get a Jamaican air horn in there and let everybody know that this is what it is.
yeah,
Mhm.
it ain't nothing normal.
No, not at all.
Ever.
All right, family. So what's the best way to say this? We are still doing our TV to. I'm trying to find a clever way to say it. Like our
Yeah, this one's kind of a
small,
mouthful to
small
figure
screen
out.
to big screen families. I think that's the best way I've been able to figure it out so far. Unless anybody else has anything better.
Family TV show movie adaptations.
That's
That's
lot.
way too much.
more. It's accurate, but it's more.
Hmm.
Very on point. TV family movies.
I'm trying to find like what else has a T with TV or
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
TV to movie families.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
it just doesn't flow right.
Whatever. Okay.
Okay.
I think the gist is there.
It's
I
not
would
fun.
I would agree that the gist is indeed there as well.
Absolutely.
All right. So I mean, we're here and hey, somebody picked this movie. Who was it?
It was I.
And what movie are we doing?
So we're doing, as you can see with the picture in the background, Addams Family, because I like that movie.
I think I should have snapped. You didn't see that? You said
Oh.
Addams
Well,
Too late.
Whatever, yeah.
passed.
okay, I mean,
Ruin that.
clever. You're doing clever things right now.
I have my days.
Clearly.
Trying to think of a better title for this category.
We're over it. If you
No,
haven't figured
it's
it
bugging
out,
me.
everyone, it is TV movies. No, see, TV shows about families that were adapted into movies. But we couldn't find a better way to say
That's
that.
the best way to say that so far. I mean, I haven't got I still kind of like small screen to big screen adaptations, but I don't know.
Yeah, again, so literal.
Typical.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely that.
It is
Small
what it is.
screen families.
Did you just say mine was too literal? Yours was super literal.
No, I didn't say too literal.
Very.
Oh.
I just said literal. Yes,
say,
mine was extremely literal.
I know dang well you ain't talking about literal.
Dang, it's gonna bother me.
No,
I'm still
both of mine
thinking.
were very literal.
The nerve.
The noise. Anyway, I think everybody gets it.
So this
Addams
is a
Family
classic.
Go ahead.
Oh,
I wasn't doing the synopsis. I was just explaining further.
okay.
That
Let me
Addams
go
Family
ahead
was a TV show.
and do the
Do your thing. Do the thing,
synopsis.
Julie.
So this one's a classic, especially for someone my age, around millennial.
Right.
It's a good one. We should already know it's about a family who's like a little odd. Some would say kind of goth, and in this regular world that's not all goth. And at first, for some reason, I thought it was a Tim Burton movie. Kind of gave me Tim Burton feels, but I guess we looked it up yesterday. Well, Mom did, and found out what's the guy's name? He's the one who does the Men in Black, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Spielberg.
Hmm?
No,
Oh,
no.
I thought Spielberg did Man in Black.
No,
I don't
no.
know.
Now you're
Oh,
gonna make
I
me have to
forget his
look it up. But
name, but
anyway.
It's
yeah.
not
So
Adam
not a Tim Burton film, although I think it would have been real interesting if it was, but it still
Well,
is.
I think the humor and the way it was already took it off of Tim Burton. To me, I wouldn't have seen that like that. You
True,
know.
I mean,
true. It was too actually like fun
Yeah, yeah,
happiness, even though it's
yeah,
supposed to be kind of dark.
Tim Burton did Beetlejuice, right?
He
yeah,
did.
yeah. That.
I don't think he's above humor in any way.
True.
No, I think that. But see, yeah. I mean, I can see what you're saying, but it doesn't match. That matched him, and that was way early on. He got darker and less funny to me as he went along.
Well, yeah, I
But
Yeah.
mean that is kind of who ended up directing this. Who was the director?
his name is Barry Sonnenfeld. But Barry Sonnenfeld.
Berg.
Sonnenfeld.
Feld.
Sonnenfeld. His
Feldberg.
name is
Like
Barry
Seinfeld, but what you said
What
Sonnenfeld?
Sonnenfeld. Yep,
else?
exactly.
What else did he do?
So he did. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you. He did movie wise. He did Men in Black. Yeah, he did the first. Wait a minute, no, two. He did Men in Black. Oh no, he did one, two. He did all of them. He did
Okay.
all the even the one with uh Thor. What's his
Berlin.
name? Chris. No, what's his name?
Josh
Thor.
Berlin.
What's the
Really?
guy
Oh, the
Oh,
new one. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. You talking
and
about
your
Chris Hemsworth?
girl? Yeah,
Yeah.
he did that one too. He did Wild Wild West.
Well, yeah.
He did Addams Family Values. Um, oh, he did Race in Arizona. Wow, that was a funny movie.
That's is that
Oh,
the one with
he
Nick
did.
Cage?
He did Lemony Snickets too.
That
mm,
makes sense. That was trash
mm,
too.
Uh, Punch
I'm
him,
sorry.
Donna. That one.
I'm sorry. That movie is not
whatever.
worth it.
I know,
I
right?
like
That
watching
was.
it.
Oh wow, he's old. He did Big with Tom Hanks. He's
Oh,
done
that's a
a
terrible one.
variety of stuff.
Mm.
Variety. Space Chimps.
That was terrible.
Wow, I
So I
vaguely
mean,
remember that.
he's pretty big time. He did Get Shorty.
Okay. Did he do Be Cool too?
I don't see Be Cool.
Okay. Well, then that's a waste.
See? It's just so he's done some. He's has hits and misses,
It
but
seems like misses than hits, but
he's been in the game since the
He's a
'80s.
creator
So
still.
yeah, this was a good one though. Barry Sonnenfeld. There we go.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
Huh. This there's a it's hard. Like we were just talking about it off air. That I like the way that sounds so professional. Off air.
That's right. Yeah.
How this movie starts, but it doesn't like it's kind of weird the flow of this movie
Yeah.
because it feels like though there is a plot, there is no plot, and then the end there's a
beer. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well, I guess the whole plot was him.
wait. Did you just call that the water of or the beer of water or something? What did you just
No, I
say?
said water, not beer.
Oh, I thought you were like, this is the beer of water.
Wow.
It would be gross. It would be
Well,
disgusting.
let's talk about
But
something with this movie.
yeah, the way it
It
starts
doesn't
is
have
like,
a specific structure.
yeah, no. It's just like it wants to put everything in there, but it works. You know what I mean? It's like what it did was took a whole lot of the nostalgic type things that went on in the show and just threw it in a story that was about something specific, if that makes sense.
Well, it's specific. I think it's specific and it's not. Like it's more about I think it's just more about this specific situation they went in this time
Right.
in their lives. Because it's not like they didn't have life before that and they, mentioned
Right.
things about, I guess past things or whatever. And but it kind of it's just going on this event in their life that happened. Starts from him reminiscing about the past, but
Who
it's
Who is him?
kind of coming together, what their
Gomez,
lives were
right?
like in this event, this situation that they're going through.
Well, I mean, we completely skipped over the fact that they killed a bunch of carolers at the beginning of this movie. Like,
Did they kill them or severely injure them?
Look, the angle didn't let me know whether it was boiling water, boiling acid, boiling tar, but it was boiling, and it is beyond. It's snowing. It's wintertime, so these dudes are dead. Like you're no, those are like some serious degree burns you're getting right there. I don't know. I'm pretty sure somebody died. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, then there's that.
Oh my god, but that's how this movie starts. They killed the carolers. That's what I put in my notes.
But they killed the carolers.
They're dead. They are absolutely dead. Let's talk about the casting for a minute though, because this is actually one of those ones like just like kind of like the Flintstones, where it's like I didn't watch the show that much, but based on what I did know and what I did see, and even from like the cartoon that used to be on and the comic strips and stuff like that, I feel like this is one of those knock out the park moments, man. Like this is
they did good.
Well, and as one who did watch the show, oh my gosh, it was one of my favorites. They did an excellent job. I mean, you have to see just for yourself, watch some clips, and when you see those characters, John Astin was the guy who played Gomez, and
he looked like a Gomez too.
Carol, what's her last name? But who played Morticia? I mean, unbelievable. They are just incredible without being so mimicky that it looks, you know what I mean, overdone.
Yeah.
No, they did it.
They couldn't pick a better Morticia.
No, what's her name? Angelica. Is it Houston or Huston?
It's Houston. It just spelled like it looks like Huston.
She was a good Morticia. Like I don't know, anybody else would have seemed like they don't belong in that part, but she fit perfectly.
Yeah, but she is responsible for some of my unrealistic expectation in women. She's a baddie. Like, what do you want me to say? She was. I mean, because even like the clips and stuff that you find from the original Addams Family, she was nice. Like she was a hot woman. That's hard to do.
But Gomez wasn't as attractive in the old show.
No, but it still worked. The whole thing, because in reality, it wasn't like him being attractive was the whole goal. It was just that they worked, and he had this, he was obsessed with her, and that's what that stuff. I do want to say that I noticed in this movie that I didn't really remember from before. They really do take it somewhere almost to the nth degree, if you know what I mean.
They not almost. They
do.
I think that in one of those scenes, it is implied that they had public sex. Like
in at the court.
Yeah.
No,
not the court, the auction.
At the school. At the school, yeah.
No, the auction. The auction.
Yeah, the auction.
Oh, that's the auction. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is heavily implied that they definitely had public sex right there.
But that's what kind of like I think what people loved about it, because they just seemed like they were like deeply in love, like, and they got their cute little weird family.
They were still like, after all this time, they were still lusting after each other like kids. Like it is like
that probably set up my unrealistic standards of love.
Of how relationships work. Like you thought this was going to be forever. No, you have
You're gonna be obsessed with me.
You have a year. You have a year tops for that obsession. After
that's a rule? Is that?
That's terrible.
Everything after that is work.
That's terrible.
Okay. Well, anyway, after the whole Caroler thing, huh?
I said I don't make the rules.
Oh. So after the whole Caroler thing, I guess after that you see Thing running in the, from the outside. Was he on the window sill?
Thing is the hand.
Yeah, that's Thing.
Thing is
I know. Like so people know who probably haven't seen it.
Look,
the hand's name is Thing, and he's all running around, going broom, 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 and he runs past Gomez, and then he goes, stops.
Do the sound again. Do the sound again.
Which one?
No,
the other sound. The sound he makes.
Oh, broom, broom, broom. I'm sorry.
Is that
Did
what he
that
did?
sound? Huh? Did that sound dumb?
Hey, I had a question.
What?
So, what do you think? CGI, or did they like green screen the rest of somebody's body off?
Well, I think both. Both. I think they did use a real hand though, because I think I was reading
Yeah,
something
they
about that.
definitely used the
Well,
real
they
hand.
definitely used the real hand.
But I'm
Yeah,
saying like
but I mean,
moving in certain
how big
areas.
was not just how big was CGI, but at that point, but not just that, it wasn't very good. I really do think they green screened it. You know, they did a whole thing and then they edited basically
Yeah.
around it to make everything else
Yeah,
be what it needed to
I
be
was watching
around
this last night, and I asked Kiana. I said, "Do you think they have some dude crawling around just like
it.
doing stuff like the whole time?"
Well,
But
at a
if you look
certain
at the
scene, he'd
hands, it's
still.
up. You know, you see it like it's not like because if it was down, it would be like this. You know, like
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. That had to be super uncomfortable for
you know,
somebody.
my
Well,
camera.
I think that the scenes where he's like, there's a table or something right there, and he's like that. Like, I think they had him like just be right there, green, probably dressed in green or something like that, so they can,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was.
easily edit him.
Because
yeah,
even then, I think if I'm not mistaken, in the original show, he was in a box most of the time, right? Like he
yeah,
was in
yeah.
a box.
Yeah.
He wasn't roaming around. I think
Yeah,
that's what makes this like added a dynamic. It's like, whoa,
yeah,
theme is like going everywhere. But yeah, no, it was a box that would open and he'd just be like coming out or bringing stuff out the box. Like how do you get stuff?
and that's what I was
Put
saying. 'Cause
down
I was
milk and
thinking like
cookies and stuff.
just in general, I think it's like a huge. It was a risk. It was a risk that they took. They were like, we could look. This is either going to be look really really stupid or it's
Right,
going to be fine. And I think
right.
it turned out to be fine because they didn't use
Yeah,
it.
no, no. I think it worked. It was successful.
I think it was
Definitely.
good. It looks good. Actually, I was kind of creeped out by it. I was like, a hand is really running around, and I was a
It's
kid.
indeed a creepy thing.
But
And the fact that they can communicate with him and he's not
Barely
saying any
though.
words. Now,
Well,
only time I
barely.
saw him do something specific when he did like the sign language, he was trying to spell out Morticia. I was like, okay.
he's like, it's not good when you stutter. I can't understand you when you stutter. Because he's going,
That was so stupid. Oh my god. All right, so where are we? What is
So
happening
he's
right
running around and finally meets up where Gomez is. And then
now?
it's just starting to talk about Fester,
he's,
right?
yeah, he's
Well,
looking
he's
into his
played,
room.
he's played by Raul Julia.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the great
Yes.
Raul Julia. It is
Yes.
very sad that his last movie was Street Fighter. Like that's a sucky ass way to go.
Was it? It wasn't Addams Family Values?
No, Street Fighter was
Was
the
it?
last
Oh,
thing. Even because at the end of Street Fighter, they put this thing on the screen that says Via
yeah,
Con
they did.
Raul Julia, and that was
Yeah.
fucking distasteful as shit for that movie. Sorry. I'm sorry. You either have to release this late or you just don't release it at all. You can't be his last movie, man. That sucks. It just sucks.
I mean,
I don't
he
think they
will
were
be
thinking it sucked
forgotten for
that
that
bad at that
reason.
point.
Yeah, I'm sure they didn't. But whoever like edited it and released and finished all the final cuts didn't watch the movie clearly. And then even then, like all the stories coming from that, like Jean-Claude Van Damme was high the whole time because he just hated it. He didn't want to do the
Really?
like. There's so many bad stories coming out of there. It's like
Really?
you knew this movie was gonna be shit when your star didn't give a freak about it. Like, come on, man.
Dang.
Dang, that's stacked up. Yeah, it was terrible, but he was great. He was a great actor. He
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
was. He did a lot of
He
stuff,
was indeed.
and he was great for this role.
He was perfect. He threw
He was
himself
great.
into it. It just like what were we talking about? Like even like we were talking last week with the Flintstones and how all of them just like embodied. They weren't afraid to go that extra silly
Yeah,
mile to make
yeah.
it. You
Well,
know,
and that's what it is. It's like knowing you can go so far but knowing where that limit lies. And I think that's what makes a great actor, because there's a place where you can go and it's just it becomes literally beyond ridiculous, but
yeah,
then there's ridiculous that just works, and that's what this is. It was ridiculous, but it works.
Yeah.
I agree. Because even then, like this is like John was saying, this is when he's talking about Fester, and it's been 25 years. Which, god damn, that's a long ass time. It's been 25 years.
But he never forgot.
Apparently, well, they've been basically what he says. They've been doing seances to try to bring him back or whatever the
Right.
case may be for 25 years, and Oops, I just guess they just haven't been working. I don't.
But he never gave up. Like, and
Well,
he's like,
I think they were. They were. That's why they were thinking. He said something. Who said something? But he was like, "I hope so." Whatever. Like, if he's not dead.
oh
Like, what if
yeah,
he's not? And he's like, "I hope so." And be okay. Donna will tell you. Last night, I was in and out.
yeah, you were, yeah, you were.
I need to start watching movies like before 8 o'clock because if
Probably
I sit,
you should have started when I called you or when you called me.
well, we couldn't at that moment.
Hmm.
They weren't even there. You guys were. They were at the park.
I don't
Anyway,
care about that.
huh?
I'll just get to what you're saying.
Anyway, my point
That
is,
was on
I
you.
was going in and out, and but what I was wondering, trying to remember it from before, is did he end up really being Fester, and that was this lady like had got a
That
Well,
hold of him?
that is
Okay,
hilarious because the whole time we were watching this movie, me and Kiana were asking the same question. Like, I didn't remember it because it's been a long time since I've seen this
right.
one. The only one I've really rewatched a bunch of times was Values, but
hmm.
I didn't remember. But yes, is the answer. It did turn out to really be Fester, and
Okay, right.
but they wait
Like,
till the very end to make that
yeah,
deal, like literally the end.
They
Like
kind of make it unclear because they make it seem like he is just a dude that looks like what his
right. Which
brother from a long time ago
which would be
well,
very
looked like.
strange.
It's too
yeah, 'cause
specific.
even the woman pretending to be his mom says like, "I birthed you, I gave you life, and this is how you treat me." So
Well,
you're
she
supposed,
said I gave you life. She didn't say I
yeah.
birthed you. So I
Well,
was
either
like,
way,
or
like you're not going to interpret it as, well, what do you mean by that? You're just like, okay, obviously she gave birth to this kid. That's how
right.
we. That's how this
And
whole thing is played.
yeah, yeah.
Well, the way well, it seems like when it comes to her, what was her name?
Something.
Was
Because
I
all I remember is Dr.
his mom?
Pinderslosh, but
Yeah,
that's
she's
not her
Dr.
name.
I don't know. I don't remember what her name was, but I remember Dr. What is it? Pindersnash?
Pinderslosh.
Pinderslosh? Greta?
And that accent was like, what was that?
That was
I,
Dr. Lipschitz, man. That's how people viewed doctors in that time, I guess. I don't know.
They were all
yeah,
German, and they.
Yeah. Pretty much vaguely German. Not even like actually just vaguely German.
I think
yeah.
it's all supposed to be. What's his name? The psychologist.
Oh, you like Sigmund Freud?
Yeah, everything is supposed to be Freud-esque. I
Yeah,
think
I think that's what
overall.
it is too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So
but she was basically lying to him. She, I guess, must have found him at some point and from the beginning found an advantage of getting this guy to think that he's her son
right,
or
not
whatever.
just
So that's what
that,
it seems
but
like
she
they're.
knew an awful lot because obviously he didn't have memory of his life.
Yeah,
So
well, it seems like a lot of things were
Well, yeah,
forgotten.
no. See, she didn't know anything. The lawyer knew everything. If
okay,
the lawyer is the one who's been feeding her the information, that's why they
that was
knew
a quick class though.
it. Well, I mean, movie time.
Man, that was a quick class because they were like there. It seemed like overnight they were right there with. She was playing it like the whole. She knew everything.
Yeah,
Like, how did the lawyer even know?
Well, the lawyer will because he's been there a state
he's been his
man.
lawyer for a long time. So as far
Oh,
as we
it's lawyer. No, he's not a lawyer. He
I don't know,
manages a
whatever it
state.
is. I don't know
Oh,
what
probably a
that
financial guy, whatever he is. Yeah,
Yeah, like he's a like a financial
advisor.
Oh, Kiana just said financial advisor. She knows everything. I know
something
nothing.
like that or
Okay, we'll take that.
Thank you.
accountant. I don't
Well,
know.
basically, because we're kind of skipping ahead because
Yeah, yeah.
we're skipping because all the beautiful parts are at this beginning where he's looking at her sleeping and he was
Oh
like, "I
yeah.
would die for her and I would kill for her either way." What the glitch? I'm like, yo, come on, bro. You're making it hard for men out here to just really be romantic when you out here saying shit like this. What can I do, man?
And she,
Honestly,
that's the kind of stuff that turns her on.
No, they're turned on by everything. Just the
And then
brief.
don't let her speak French.
don't let her breathe. What are you talking about?
Even if she doesn't breathe, he's still gonna love her.
These two cannot keep their hands off each other, no matter what. Like or where. It clearly doesn't matter.
The whole world doesn't exist.
No, man, they are this. Ugh.
He said, ugh.
But
Whatever. I love them. They're so cute.
Where she's cutting the heads off of roses, and this always like bothers
Oh,
me.
wait, when he was in, when she, he was laying there by her in the bed. The flower. Remember, the flower was it was was it
Alive.
dying or?
No, it's alive. It's alive. It was just
Oh,
like
it's
waking
yeah,
up.
it was like moving around. It's like what? But then at the end of the scene, it was like. That's what I was like. What happened?
It's so weird, like because like the scene that comes right after it is it's always been a weird thing to me. It's like, what is their deal? I need a backstory, like a legitimate backstory for the Addams family. What is their deal? She's cutting off these roses, like the heads off roses, like and then leaving the stems. But Kiana made a good point. Shouldn't they just be dead? Like, shouldn't the roses?
I guess she doesn't like the color.
But we see Lurch in there later, literally spraying pesticides or spraying like whatever killing like weed killer or whatever onto all the flowers and stuff.
Yeah,
like
we don't know what that is actually.
You still want the stem to be alive. I mean,
yeah, but it's so weird. Like she's cutting the roses off, why not? And keeping the stems as the decoration. Shouldn't they just be dead? Shouldn't they just be dead roses?
Maybe she don't like the rose part.
Well, maybe
she just like the thorns.
She had to cut them off. They grew.
God, why would you buy them like that? I don't know what's going on.
Maybe they have a whole bush.
That's why I'm saying I need a backstory. Like the cartoon kind of does a little backstory, the new one that came out.
Oh,
but it doesn't tell me like
I have not seen it.
What they are. Like what are they?
Oh, they're whole people.
Yeah. Well, because like according to the new cartoon, obviously that's the way I go. They're not like Morticia and Gomez get married. They're from two separate families, but their family is just as creepy as his. So it's like, there's got to be.
Where did they come from? That they got together, right?
We just know, like according to that movie, that they were run out of where they live.
Okay, I was about to say they had to come from someplace. Yeah,
they were
where they're all weird.
But it doesn't it doesn't say, because even here we're talking about like, oh, this uncle such and such was a psycho murderer. This person was this. Yeah. It's like, how are you guys just allowed to live? And what do you do for a living that you have that much money?
Yeah,
that's what I was. That's exactly what I was thinking. But I'm thinking like it must be inheritance from like their wild family, like thieves and crooks and things like that.
That could be.
Like, I mean, I'll allow it, but
they're family oriented crooks.
And this family, this house, everything is like, it's just.
Did they build that house? Like they come here and they happen to find the creepiest house in the country.
Well, like I said, it could run in the family, and they just never ever redid it or updated it.
Not even just that. Like that, the house is one thing, but like this family is proud of them. Like, cause even when they're talking about Fester, when the lawyer comes and he was like, such and such to women and children, he was like, they never proved that or something like that. But it seems like they're proud of all this crazy stuff. Like
he did say that,
walking around like nothing.
He said, not. Oh no, that was another thing when she said something about eating the children. And she's like, they're too young.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like
she was dead serious.
They shouldn't be amongst the people. Like it sounds like they're the heroes of the story, but they were run out for a reason. Like I'm just gonna be real and say it.
Right. And if they're run out of a town where everyone else is weird or whatever, then what the heck did they do? Well, we don't. So then, okay, but like you said, because like you said, they had to come from two different families. Yeah. And it's like, so they just happen to
be the other run into each other.
Birds of a feather flock together. Is that what this is?
Well, you know what I like to think, like, and it's something that just came to my mind. I was like, oh, kind of like when I think about the movie Hotel Transylvania, I like to think it's kind of inspired by that the Addams Family kind of.
But I see what you're saying, but at the same time, they were in hiding in Hotel Transylvania. That was the whole point. Like he created that so that everyone could hide. So it's like there's got to be a backstory. And
that would be interesting if somebody actually, because eventually You
I even
know.
looked it up one time. I
They're
forgot
gonna
why.
go back live action, and then they're gonna do something, but it's gonna be dark as hell.
I hope
And
so. That would actually make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
But my thing, because I think it's because we were watching the newer one with Amira, and I looked it up. I wanted to see. I was like, is Lurch a vampire or is Lurch a zombie? But it says like the Wikipedia entry was like something like he escaped from a crazy house or whatever the case may be. I don't remember.
And he's just this huge Frankenstein looking
Yeah, he's
dude.
Yeah.
Michael Myers apparently, where he's just 7 feet tall for no goddamn reason.
Exactly. Well, we all okay. So where were we? We keep going back.
Okay, so at this
We're
point,
about to be with the lawyer, our
yeah,
Right.
financial advisor or financial counselor. I don't know, but he comes
advisor.
in with his wife. Did we ever catch? Did they ever say the wife's name? Because I tried to catch it
Yes,
and I didn't.
but I don't remember it.
They probably did.
I don't remember. I know his
I
name is.
totally missed it.
I don't remember. I just know that.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I just know that
She's not like an important character, but you know, she's his wife or whatever, and
she's
she's
important
like,
enough that she's in the sequel.
Yeah.
but she wasn't like important. but
Well,
but I like that she's in
she
it.
was a good side character.
Yeah,
You know, in a good, I mean, but a character. You know what I
yeah,
mean? That had some distinct things going on. So I
yeah,
mean, I like her. That lady, she cracks me up.
yeah. She
She
was
does a lot of
actually,
different stuff.
yeah, she's good actually, and I liked her. I liked her in this, and how she kind of evolves in this movie because to start off, she's like, "Whoa, look at this weird place." They're walking up
Right.
and stuff. She thinks everything is just like completely ridiculous, and she
Well,
even
yeah,
says it.
the gate tries to attack him.
He did attack him. He was like grabbing
Right.
his sweater and stuff
And he's
like
like,
that.
and he's all used to it, and he's just like, "What?"
That's what I was going to say because I said the same thing. I was like, this is not his first time here. He's been here
Yeah.
before. He's dealt with this.
He's all irritated, like, God dang it.
Yeah.
Every time he goes to that gate,
But
he's got to
but
deal with it wrestling with his sweater.
okay, so maybe this is too much. It would be too much reality. But where is the fear? Because I would be
It's
terrified.
gone now. It's gone now. Like that's the thing we see from this entire situation. He's okay with the gate. He deals with the little the bearskin rug that tries to eat him, and he's immediately ready to fight Gomez. He's done this before. This isn't his first rodeo.
He does this. He knows that they got bank and he wants access
Yeah,
to it.
yeah. This is a true indication of, when they bring stuff across, when some protagonist or antagonist rather in a story is so greedy that they will risk almost anything to
Well,
get it what it is they're after.
this guy is almost even like a sympathetic figure because we find out that he owes money. He's not like just trying to get himself rich like that. He's just trying.
Yeah, that's
He
true.
owes money. Like he legitimately owes money. He's
Well,
trying to.
I mean, but it's his fault, and his wife has to be dragged into it and stuff, and she's
Oh,
arguing.
she
That's
knew what she.
clearly, huh?
Oh, no, I was gonna say she knew what she got herself into because she goes, "Why did I marry you?" And he's like, "Because you said."
Because I said yes.
I mean, she proposed to him. Really cool.
Or is he just saying that he said yes at the altar?
Nah, I think it's
Nah, it did sound like
I
proposal.
like to think that was the joke.
Even if it's BS. But yeah,
Basically,
anyway, yeah, because remember he threw him the sword and
yeah,
everything.
he knew it was
And
coming.
I was like,
And
wow.
so basically, the plan here is he's trying to get him to put this thing into this Fester Addams account, and it's basically his way of trying to launder his money and blah blah blah. He's like, "We'll put it under my name so that no one gets wise," or blah blah blah, whatever the case may be. And that's when we find out that apparently Gomez is a business dude. He's just like, "No, we
Right.
can't
And he's like, no,
do business
that's
till
new business.
old business, new business,
Old
and
business first.
we don't discuss new business till next quarter."
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's not stupid. I think it's an awareness factor. Is what it is. It's like he has understanding of complex life ideas, but
yeah,
he's not aware
some
of
sort.
things. He has a way of thinking that everybody is on the up and up. Oh yeah, until at a certain point, like when the Fester character said, Oh, about that thing that they
The
got stuck.
Chinese finger trap.
And he's like, "How do you get out of this thing anyway?" And he's like, "How do you get
Well,
out?"
yeah.
That's
Let's get to that because we
Okay.
after we get out of this scene, he meets. Is it Barbara? Is that her name? Because the son's name is Gordon. Nah, that's too on the nose. Barbara Gordon. It can't be.
no.
You're going
It's
Batman
not
with it.
Barbara. He
Okay,
says
No.
Miss something.
whatever.
I'm
The
gonna
son is
find out.
Gordon, and Gordon is clearly Vester in a wig, a fro of some sort.
Well,
Oh,
wait, can we missed the part? We missed the
we
part. Like
missed.
we keep skipping over parts. Can we not skip ahead?
Yes. No,
Okay.
No.
because
Well,
our great.
him going into his secret place. He closes doors when he
Yeah, he
meets up
goes
with Tully. Huh?
to get the doubloons.
Yeah, but he cracks and looks into the door. This is I thought it was Tully, but I think they
It is
might be saying
Tully.
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 Tully. It is Tully.
Oh, okay. Well, Tully, he's looking through the crack of the door or whatever and sees
Margaret.
that he pulls
Oh
a
no,
book.
Margaret was the wife. Go ahead.
Oh.
Hold on.
He sees that he pulls a book, and then all of a sudden, the secret entrance where books move, they
Yeah,
move or
the
whatever.
Scooby-Doo bookcase. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, a revolving bookcase or whatever, and he goes in, and he hears all this stuff. What is it? He hears him taming a tiger.
Oh
He
yeah.
goes, yeah, and so I mean, he sees that there's a secret entrance in there, and that's important because that comes up again later on in the movie. So I didn't want to skip over that,
1,000 times.
huh?
It's yeah, like 100 times. This
Well,
movie is
yeah, but this is the first time, and so it's just good to show that Telly knows that there's a, you know,
well, yeah, because he comes back with the doubloons, which is clearly not the first time this has happened either. Tully's been known about that vault. This isn't the first time he's
Yeah.
seen that.
but
This
he's
can't.
trying to see which book he's pulling. He's
Right.
trying to pick up on how to get to that money.
Yeah, he keeps pulling the books, and apparently, if you open a book, whatever the book is about is
Abigail.
really.
Abigail is her name, and then that's the mother. Abigail. Abigail
Okay,
Craven.
yeah.
Oh, Miss Craven. He did say Miss Craven.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she's
Craven.
Dr. Greta Pinderschloss. Pinterschloss.
Pinterschloss.
I was driving me nuts. But
So
anyway.
they meet in his office or whatever. Like he comes up, he's unsuspecting. He doesn't even see them at first. He's carrying this heavy suitcase, or whatever, with all these gold doubloons in. So that's probably heavy as heck, or it already. And he drops it on the table or whatever. And they're sitting there, and she's like, "Yo, what's up?" And he's like, "Oh, Miss Craven." And she's like, "Where's my money?" Like she comes up like a thug, like with her, her strong son. And they threaten him and stuff like that. And
Well, it's not like a thug. She literally sicks Gordon on him.
yeah,
Him upside down with his wrist. Like what is happening right now?
she's a thug old lady.
Yeah,
Also,
she is.
people don't look like that, and that's just weird. But
Martha Stewart.
no, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Gordon, aka like
Well, yeah.
people don't look like
So,
that.
and okay, so he knows her already.
Wait.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the
Did
fact
she
that
not know? Did he not know about her son before? Because he
never
knows
clear.
the Addams
Well,
already.
one of the things that happens right here is when they're shaking him down, he immediately sees, and he's just like, he looks at him, he goes, Fester, and that's when he comes up with this dumbass plan to pass him off. But he knows, like, that's what I'm saying. You're right. It doesn't make any sense. It feels like this is the first time he's met Gordon. Well, she even says that. Have you met my son, Gordon? And he's like, is this mother? Played by Christopher Lloyd, by the way.
Christopher Lloyd. Ooh, he is a heck of a character actor.
All the time.
he is? He's pretty good.
He is very good.
One of the
very
best.
good.
But
Yeah, because that's what I was wondering. Okay, so basically he had never actually seen her son.
No.
So that's okay. So I guess that makes sense. What a coinky dink.
what happens is they
Yeah.
figure out he lied because they toss over, he's about to toss him on the table or whatever, and the suitcase falls and all those gold doubloons fall out or whatever, and she's like, "Wait, what's this? You lying to me? You do got my money or whatever." He's like, "No, that's for the Addams estate or whatever." He's like, "You look like his brother." And they're like, he showed them pictures, I guess he had pictures, and she's like, "This hideous boy was my son." Like she says that, but she sounds like she's trying to cover something up, like she does know, but she doesn't want.
She says, like, you think he looks like Oh, he says he's a splitting image of my son, and it's like she either doesn't know because she's never met them, so she doesn't know about Fester. So that could easily be, and he had amnesia, so we don't know that she knew his name or any of those things.
Right.
And we also don't know when she found him. So
Right.
there's all those different
Well,
variables.
right. That's what I was thinking too. Like, how long has it been? Because he's been gone for 25 years.
25 years. They keep saying they had a fight, and I'm like, okay. We find out that it really wasn't much of a fight. Like, that's what it came down to. That was like this, and by movie, I guess it wasn't a really good conflict.
They have to create a scenario that would cause someone to be gone, even though
I mean, people can relate because it happens in families where you don't see family members for years and years, and that's what it is because of one stupid little fight.
They made it seem bigger. They just kept describing the fight as huge.
Well, yeah, sometimes like it could be over something stupid, but the feelings passionate on either side could be there. I mean, that's a relatable factor. A lot of families don't even talk to each other because of things that are probably very minute to other people.
Yeah.
Well, no, but that's true. What I'm saying is the way the fight is described in general isn't about like how one person feels. It's about how it's described to them. Totally keeps saying they had this huge fight. Even Morticia says they had a huge fight. So it's clearly this big thing that.
Well, think about it. If you've never fought with certain family member, because it looked like the way they described the relationship before was they were
had
really
a really
close.
Good relationship.
They had and then a big fight to them could just be a regular argument or whatever, and that's wild. Like, whoa, they're like supposed to be like close and love each other so much. Like, it's so big that he wanted to just run away.
Anyways,
whatever, you know, don't even like, you're not open to the possibilities. Okay,
we get to the seance, which is stupid, by the way. I don't like the seance at all.
Wait, before the seance, they're looking through the lawyers. We didn't talk about that either. The wife or whatever of Tully, she's helping them find an item for the auction or whatever, and that's when they come across the finger trap, the Chinese finger trap with the dragon or whatever. So moving forward from there or whatever, they do the seance and everybody's sitting there. You've got Tully and his wife, and then the whole family around the table. Morticia's mom and the kids. Wednesday,
Mama,
Mama, and Wednesday and Pugsley, and so they're all doing this thing.
Didn't have a lot to do in this. He is in both this and the sequel. He's got the less lines of anybody in the entire movie. Pugsley, yeah, he's just like a secondary. He's there so that you know that him and Wednesday are brother and sister and they fight. That's why he's here.
But it's because he's like, it's weird. He's like different. He's not like necessarily dark in the family or anything like that.
He has killed people.
Well, yeah, but he's not like his character being a gloomy one.
He's killing people. He doesn't have to be gloomy. He's killing people. It doesn't. But that's the thing. Neither is Gomez. He's not a gloomy character. He's
that's true.
He's the cheeriest character in this entire thing.
True.
But
he's got a very positive attitude
about life, and I don't like
overall.
Yeah. So, anyways, we do the seance. Fester returns, and it's so weird. Like his face is just weird. Like he's scared to be here. And then that's where we get Dr. Pindersklash or whatever her name is. Dr. Lipschitz.
Pindersklash.
Yeah, and then she makes up this gobbledygook story about him being lost at sea and
in the Bermuda Triangle.
And Wednesday is just like, nah, that's bullshit, son.
Yeah,
nobody comes back from the Bermuda Triangle. And he's like, well, you don't know anything. And she was like, nah, that's bullshit. She's not having it. She really doesn't believe it at all. And
right.
She's right. She suspects at the beginning that this is bullshit.
Morticia was like, she's like, oh, she actually studies the Bermuda Triangle, and she's like, ask her, and she's like, yeah, ask me anything, and then he stares into her eyes.
That was at breakfast the next day.
Yeah,
he has to stay there. He stays in the house. Thing comes and it freaks him out, and he's screaming, and they're like, oh, he's back. He always screams in his sleep. And I'm just like, okay.
And then, right, because then she
Poor
asked him
family.
how he slept the next
He was
day, and he
the
said,
dead.
like a baby. He's like, oh,
Oh, he
that's
said like the
interesting.
dead.
Like the dead.
Oh, like the day. Oh, yeah, that's interesting because you never gotta, were able to sleep, get a good night's sleep or
They had.
something like that. Like,
They said we have to chain him to the bed.
Mhm.
And he was
yeah,
like,
they did.
change the subject. Change the subject. Change the subject. I can't. Hey, what's going on here? What's all this?
Mhm.
And he
Yeah,
was
that was. Go ahead.
well. Basically, this is when he's kind of trying to play the role. He's like, hey, yeah, sleeping in that bed brought back so much memories. Maybe I could like fuck around the house and try to bring back some more of these memories. Gomez is like, nah, we're going to the vault today, buddy. Ha ha. He was like, oh, okay, well, that works out because that was the plan anyway. Which I was like, well, that's convenient. Thank you, movie, for progressing this faster. Because I don't know, man. An hour 40 minutes is like perfect time. We don't really need this movie does not need to be over 2 hours.
No, it doesn't.
And that's good that they kind of just like tried to get to where we needed
It,
to get to without
yeah, they
filler.
moved it. They just, like I said, they threw in all of the things that people would be familiar with and recognize, but they kept progressing this
Yeah.
particular story
Did you
pretty
know that the
good.
house was pink?
It
In the
was
show?
pink.
In the show, there's a still because it was black and white, but they have a
Right.
picture of the set in color, and all the furniture and all the background. It's like pink and bluish and like really
Really?
Was
colorful.
it?
Which is like weird. It was like because the first
Get
time I
out
saw
here.
it, I was like, no fucking way. Like this is Photoshop, but it wasn't. That's how the set looked. Like I just didn't know
Oh,
that.
wow.
And I
Yeah,
think
it was black and white. So,
one of the directors was saying because it's black and white, you get certain colors, they contrast differently,
yeah, that's
so
true.
that it doesn't just look like one big black blob in the background.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that makes
That's
sense. But I was
true.
like, cool.
Oh,
Well, it worked for black and white.
You learned something.
I know, I did.
Brings out the different grays.
Mm.
The
Wow.
hues.
But
But
yeah,
So,
anyway.
they go to this vault, and it's a complicated ass thing. They have to pull the book, and it's greed. Go figure. They have a good chuckle about it. And they go to the little handlebar thingies, which how the hell could you remember which one is which? I was looking at
Yeah,
all these
exactly.
things, and they never show from an angle to where you could see which one he pulled. The
Right.
like you just
No,
I
he
always
just
try
he
to
knows
look at
what it
that.
is.
yeah, you just see him reach up and go click cling, and I'm like, how do we know which one is which? Like the movie either doesn't want us to know, so that when they keep pulling the wrong ones, we're just like, oh, good, it wasn't that one. Like
Mhm.
Right. It doesn't want you to assume they wouldn't be able to figure it out.
that's what I'm
If,
saying. Like
yeah,
because
yeah.
the moment you do that and you're like, oh, they know which one it is, then the
Right.
movie's dead. Like we know
Well,
once we know what it is, we're just like, oh, why can't they pick that one? It's the obvious one. Duh.
yeah.
Right. That's true.
I
That was
think
pretty smart,
he
actually.
said, here, take this, and hands them just one of the things, and they both pull it, and they fall, and they slide down this slide.
Well, no, what happens is Gomez just reaches. He only pulls one.
Right.
Fester doesn't
Oh,
pull anything, and then it just
true.
opens the bottom, and they go down
Yeah,
that
he just
slide.
did it.
Yeah, they
Oh,
just
yeah,
go down
yeah,
that
yeah.
slide, and you can see Fester freaking out. But that slide looked fun.
It did. It was funny.
But it's weird, like somewhere down the line on this slide, Gomez is where Fester was, and Fester is where Gomez was. Like they keep switching places. It's so weird. It is
And
like
then another thing this leads me to think about, like, how big is this house going underneath?
that's exactly what I said. Because I was like, not only did there was like a slide to like a very deep basement, there was a goddamn gondola. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
there's a whole ass gondola right there. Like that's crazy to me. Like this house is
Yeah.
way too huge for a person.
Yeah. That's crazy. Perfect,
Wait,
though,
can you
for
imagine he
them.
goes down there by himself? That's scary as hell.
I'm not doing it.
Going down there by myself.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
No way. Ooh, That's probably their little romantic little area. And he's serenading her while he's rowing the
Probably.
gondola.
Why would they
Wow.
need anywhere to go private? They clearly have sex everywhere. Like, I don't think she's ever been to the vault. Like I honestly don't think she's ever been to the vault. It's only
He
him.
probably doesn't care to.
Yeah.
Well, he's the keeper of the Addams estate. Apparently, when we find out in this movie that all the other Addams who would be are dead, and Fester is the only one who would be because he's the older brother, which I never knew.
I did not either.
Yeah.
I assumed he was the younger brother.
Yeah, like you knew that.
I did.
Did you
That's
say
why
that?
they said it in the movie.
Yeah, though, but I was like, don't yet.
Well,
Like,
that's what we found out
before
too.
you knew it, like, would you have assumed that that Gomez was the younger brother? I wouldn't have. He
No,
seemed like the
actually,
older
no.
brother.
I think as a kid, I thought that he was supposed to be the
Yeah, I
older
did
brother.
too. I did too.
Yeah, yeah.
And like
Makes
I
sense.
said, honestly, I think I've only seen this movie maybe 3 times because I haven't rewatched this one. I've seen Addams Family Values like 100, so it's different.
Oh, that's the one with the little baby with the mustache, right?
Yeah, baby Addams never gets a name.
That was my son. Yeah, when I used to brush his hair like
Oh my
that.
gosh, yes. Oh,
Gomez, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
baby
so
Gomez.
then they go to this vault and they watch movies, but not after he discovers that pulling one of the corks sends them into another Scooby-Doo chamber where all the gold is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
who's
lot of
that? Y'all got notes. I don't.
what? Oh, well, come on, get you.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. That's
So at
what
this
I'm
point,
sitting there. I told you I lost it with the notes. I
look,
was just
after the
like,
gondola, they get to this actual vault or whatever, and he's trying
Yeah.
to put in the code. He's going 2, 10, and he like expects him to finish it. And he was just like, I don't know. He throws out a number.
Yeah, he was
And
like
he's
7.
like,
He was
2,
like
10, 11.
11.
Eyes, fingers, toes.
I was like, you know what's so funny is I let that one go for a minute. Then I was like, who the fuck has 11 toes?
Why is that so normal to you?
I just let it go. Like, yeah, that's right. Wait a minute.
Maybe in their family, a lot of them came out with 11 toes.
I still don't believe
anything's possible.
it. Just seems that's because it makes it seem like that's the average number, and that just can't be unless
Right.
of course
Look,
there's that,
look, you gotta let a lot of this stuff slide, okay?
well, no, what I was gonna say is this makes sense if we talk about like the myth of inbreeding and that it causes mutations and stuff like that. There could be happening here in this Addams family.
They've got a strange family.
They've got the strangest family, man.
Yeah,
True.
pretty
Yeah,
odd
we don't know
family.
that that's not happening, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. We don't
Because,
know. Maybe Morticia wasn't Addams.
right, I was just thinking that because she knows everything about all the Adams, like
And they
as if
went to
it's
the
her
same
family.
funeral for somebody. They must have been both their family member.
They were like, "You looked even better than the corpse." I was like, "Well, yeah, it doesn't seem like a hard thing to do." The corpse, and if they're a member of your family, they probably were murdered for some stupid.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah,
was it.
we get to this. They're watching these home movies of them being stupid kids, and then them at this debutante ball. And he's like, see the twins. That's why.
But before that, he was looking for that reel, and finally Fester, he opened some kind of vial of what
It was
looked like it was
whiskey.
supposed to be alcohol, and it did another rotating door, and he
Scooby-Doo
saw
door, yeah.
all the riches in one room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I said that. Why is no
No,
one
you
paying
didn't.
attention? I did. I literally said that.
Well, moving on.
Oh, you don't
Family
get
movie. Family
Whatever.
movie reel. It's just
Get
clips
out
of
of
them when
here.
they were younger. And they're kind of going through, kind of reminiscing about the past. And it's weird because Fester does say stuff. He saw a picture in his room of specifically the
Flora and
conjoined twins, Flora and Fauna. But it's not like the picture said a name or whatever. He said, "Oh, Flora and Fauna." He must have remembered, like something must have clicked to him.
I think it's the other way around. I think he saw the picture and then used the picture to kind of put the clues together. Like, I don't think he had remembered that yet. But you are onto something, because even we were watching this yesterday, we were like, what parts does he remember? Because there's parts in this movie where he seamlessly just does family shit. Like it's nothing.
Like that dance.
Yes.
That song and
The
dance.
Mamushka.
Yeah, Mamushka. He started, he knew the words and the
He knew
moves.
everything. He's killing it. I was like, okay.
That's what I'm like. So is he right?
Maybe he was just thinking things are familiar at this point. Like, that seems familiar.
How familiar do they have to be before you start putting those pieces together? Like, let's
He's
be
obviously
real.
not the smartest.
Yeah, that's
he's
what I'm
obviously
saying.
not the smartest.
Like, I'm sorry, this dude is throwing knives. I'm catching him. I would be like, holy shit, I'm
caught him in his mouth. I mean, like,
I'm Spider-Man, either or.
Yeah, no. That was the part. It was like, how did he suddenly know everything? This was like a choreographed singing, song and dance routine.
But
So,
so like from where Jonna left off, that's what the fight was apparently, that he was jealous of Fester's relationship with the twins, which all right. And yeah, so I mean that's pretty much it. And then he kind of just like based on that, Gomez starts him not remembering the secret handshake or the secret password was like when Gomez starts to believe that he's not
but the kicker was that thing when he's like, how do you how do you unlock this thing
But
anyway?
we're not there yet. Well, we're not there yet. We're actually going to the auction now. We're going to the auction, and we don't really see all the other things being auctioned off, but the judge, which is the Addams family's neighbor or whatever, in which the judge don't like him because he keeps hitting golf balls towards his home and they keep hitting his windows and stuff. So he's probably been putting up with this crap for a while or whatever. Everybody's familiar with this family because at the auction,
he's family in their neighborhood.
Yeah,
it's weird.
At the auction that their item comes up, they buy it. They buy it for millions.
Well, it's like for like 50,000.
Oh yeah.
They don't even bet again because they're too busy having sex in the front row. So they just forget. He just forgets to bid again, and you hear she's like moaning and all that stuff. Like, oh, that's why I was like, it is heavily implied that they had sex at this auction.
Yeah, and you see the judge going, okay, sold to the Addams for $50,000, and he's like making a face.
Yeah, because we all have to be privy to this. Like everyone has to watch what's going on, and it's gross.
Wow.
They're all used to it though. They're like, oh, there they go.
Oh my God, there they go again.
Yeah, nobody seems ultimately shocked, if you will.
They've either gotten used to it or they're just like, I'm never back here again.
Somebody's wife is going, you don't love me like that.
And then somebody's husband is like, well, you don't dress like that. Yeah, but you're right. So we get to all that. That's when Fester is talking to, because Fester, or fake Fester at this point, is basically telling his mother, which is always creepy when men call their mom's mother that way, because it's like, you guys got a weird relationship.
Nobody calls their mom mother like.
Well, it's even like the way they talk, like, cause he's just like, I'll never love anyone more than you, and she's like, you better not, because I'm the only person you'll ever need. And I'm like, ew,
she's made him seem codependent, like he's not
it's
anything
like,
without her.
Nah, it's the same way I believe that Mike Pence's wife is probably his mom too. So it's pretty gross, man. It's pretty gross. Dude, he calls her mother, so it's weird to me. Like, it's just weird. Like, you could it's weird, man. I'm just saying. This dude,
I cannot believe you just said that.
This dude has the same relationship with his mother that Fester has with his wife that Fester has with his mother. So yeah, it's a little weird to me.
Yeah, I've never called you mother in a serious, casual way.
No, if we ever say it, it's like we're joking or we're
right.
You're like, mother.
Mother. It's weird.
It's so much. It just feels so weird. Their relationship feels gross. And every time I see them together, even like
she was like, listen to, can you hear what is she just put his head on her chest?
And she's like, it's saying, Gordon, I love you, Gordon. Yes.
It's so gross.
And that was a little weird, to say the least. Yeah.
But anyway,
it did make me question too. It's like
they're sitting in the car, and
that his mother.
They're sitting in a car coming back from the auction, and that's when they that thing happens with the little Chinese finger trap or whatever. Right. And he goes, "How do you take it off?" And then all of them, but especially Gomez, was looking like, "Oh, you don't know how to take it off." Huh?
He was like,
he wanted to throw up, like throw up,
like that.
And later he's like, "How do you get out of this?"
That's when we get the
the train scene.
Fester, he's dealing with the trains, which that's a big cartoon one and the show one where he's like really the trains. But that's how they know he's upset. The mother, basically is like, "Don't worry, I'll fix it. I'm a doctor. I'll talk to him like a psychologist or whatever." And She basically tells him some BS about like, oh, it's displacement, and because he's not that bright either, that Gomez, he doesn't know what that means. So yeah, it sounds good. You know what I mean? So he just
Right. And he's trusting she's a doctor and she knows these things.
Yeah, and then I think this is also like congruent with the scene where Morticia talks to Fester about all the stuff that's happening. Like, oh, this is cousin such and such. He was pulled limb from limb. This is our she was killed at the fire.
He said he was pulled limb from limb to limb by horses.
Yeah, you've never heard of that?
Well, yeah, no, yeah, but that just sounds terrible.
Have you heard of that?
Well, yeah, in some kind of stories. Ooh, that's horrible.
Yeah,
that's some dark stuff.
That's one
everything that was tortured. They had the witch that was whoever it was that was burned at the stake.
Oh, that was Wednesday's Hero when they were doing that Hall of Heroes thing.
Yeah.
That's hilarious to me.
Yeah, she's also one of the best characters. I mean, in terms
Wednesday Addams.
Because in the show they had very little parts, both her and Pugsley in the show, and they so they were just in and out. It wasn't like it was just more one-liners about things that made you kind of see where they were. But this was like the extended version. So Wednesday was just like, damn, this girl was dark.
She was very dark. She electrocutes Pugsley at one point. She does the William Tell thing. We never see how that turns out.
She has a knife, and she's like, "Is this for your brother?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh no, that's not gonna work." And then hands her like an axe,
the whole ass axe.
She said, "Use this."
Yeah, but yeah, it's interesting because it goes to the point, and then Gomez is like, "Hey, yeah, I forgive you. It's cool." And then Fester kind of starts playing the role a little bit too because he sees the kids doing their Macbeth thing. And he was like, no, you guys are doing it all wrong. This is whack shit. Like, and he teaches them how to do it, shows them cuts and boils in that book with the scabs. Ugh, it's gross.
They got so excited about scabs. They're like, scabs.
Yeah. Well, because he also deflects the question of the Bermuda Triangle again from Wednesday. She was like, "Did you learn all this when you were in the Bermuda Triangle?" He was like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, scabs. Come on, hey, look, scabs.
Talk about the Bermuda Triangle.
But then it was like, yeah. So then we're about to get to this play that he's been helping them with, and the mother is like, "No, everyone's going to be at the house, so we need to get into this vault. It's very important," and blah blah blah. And he was like, "Fine, I guess." So they go, and this is one of my favorite scenes too, because the teacher's like, "Hi, Mrs. Addams, I'd like to talk to you." And she's like, Wednesday, she's very smart, but, well, this is our Hall of Heroes. This person picked George Bush, and this person picked this person, and your daughter picked your aunt such as. I was like, oh, yeah, she was burned at the stake for practicing witchcraft, but don't worry, I told Wednesday, college first. And I was just like, what the absolute fuck?
She was dead serious. I told Wednesday, college first.
Hey, you cannot do your witchcraft until college. These are just the facts.
That's good parenting.
Yeah, now that's another thing. I was thinking, like, is Morticia a witch?
I don't think so.
Well, her mom's obviously a witch.
Dress, though.
Her mom's a witch. She grew up like that. So
my mom is a witch.
Yeah,
she does spells like in the show.
Yeah,
she was always doing spells and stuff, and she had like times where it was like a pot, big old pot. You know how they used to do witches, throwing stuff. I think she is
in this movie too. Every time you see her, she's putting something in a pot somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think Morticia is just. I think she's just born into witchery, but not necessarily a witch.
So maybe that's why she's saying that.
Definitely descended of a witch.
Yeah.
Well, and if Wednesday was going to practice witchcraft, then I would assume she's got some witch in her DNA.
But that's the
there's
thing.
So many things that are like they throw things out there that could be something, but you're not sure if it is something. You know what I mean?
Is witchcraft a biological trait? Because I feel like that only happens in certain movies, like Practical Magic with was it Nicole Kidman and what's her name? They were born witches, which doesn't make any sense because you can easily stop being a witch. You just stop practicing witchcraft.
No.
Like,
Does that make you not a witch? Because you
yes,
stop
It's you
practicing
can still
witchcraft?
be
That just
powerful.
makes you not practicing it. That's
yes.
just like
Nobody would be the wiser of their witchery. Like, that's the thing. You can't. They're not green and they don't have warts and they don't fly out on broomstick. How would you know that they're a witch unless they're practicing witchcraft?
I think your witchness grows when you practice it more. I mean, think about it. Like religion, or like Christianity, you can be born in a Christian family and believe in God or whatever, but
no,
not
no,
necessarily
different,
practice.
different. I would say more
Right.
like being Jewish, maybe. Being
Oh,
Jewish
okay.
and then
Yeah.
not practicing, Judaism. So you just born Jewish, but you're
I don't.
not practicing it.
I think we're treading some crazy territory here talking about witchcraft. Let's move on to this play where they're doing, I don't remember what song, but it's Getting to Know You.
Oh, at
And
this point, wait, but at this point, oh yeah, that's when they go to the school play and
I'm,
uh
Oh,
that's exactly what I'm talking about right now.
oh, uh,
You jerk.
I'm trying to read my notes as I'm listening.
Oh man, just let me know what I'm doing. This is
I'm
my
not a
first
good
rodeo.
multitasker.
They're at this play, they're singing, the kids are singing Getting to Know You, and you can see the
oh yeah,
object
that little group, but they're
situation.
like bored, like, oh
Oh
God.
no, they're not bored. They feel like they're about to like how when you get frustrated, but you can't do anything about it. That's what that looks like. Like they're mad. Like they're like, oh my god, oh, get up if I could right
Like,
now.
what is this? Yeah.
And then so they get there, and then Gomez, our Fester, shows up because he's like, fuck it, I'm going, and he gives
Right.
the kids all their stuff they need to put on the greatest show of all time for a kids play, and which how do you not get expelled? But whatever.
Right.
They
That just
they get there. They do this. Meanwhile, Fester's mother gets trapped by the vine.
mother.
She gets trapped by the vines of the house, and
Oh
Because
my
she's trying to
God.
climb around because she
yeah,
realized he
and
wasn't there to open the door for her.
and then
Yeah.
she's immediately taking out, and no one cares. It's like some of the stuff that they're trying to use to like to sow conflict in this movie is less important. Well, it's important, but it's less interesting than
Yeah.
this play. I would rather
Yeah.
see the
Yeah.
play. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Exactly.
We get
Well,
Exactly.
I think it's just showing like what's going on in that moment and what she's thinking when he disobeys her, basically.
well,
And I
no,
think it's funny that they showed this part and how the vines dragged her away, and she's trying to be calm. She's like, I'd probably be doing the same thing. I'm like, oh shit,
She-
okay,
what
she'll
did
be
she
I,
say?
right.
Oh,
I
she
I would be
said something.
I would be panicking my ass
I'd be
off.
losing my mind.
And I'd be like, what's at the end of these vines? It's gonna be one of those big ass little shop of horrors plants ready to eat me and shit. Fuck all
She
that.
was, yeah, she was way too calm, which lets you know she's weird as heck.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, oh, okay,
I think she was trying not to scream and get like attention from, well, probably Lurch could have been there.
I'm just mad she
Or
wasn't
did he go to the
scared, lurking
play?
around
no, yeah,
outside
he
of
was in the
that
play.
dark
Oh.
house. That's weird. No, that's just weird.
But yeah, so they get to this play. Fester's there, everyone's there, and we get to this Macbeth. And this is what I was like, one of the things where it's like you could see that how good Christina Ricci was early on.
Yeah.
This is a joke of a play, but she is in this.
Committed.
Like, she is in this thing 100% all in.
Yeah.
She's over the top. Even her dead, she's like, it's just like she's so over the top, and I loved it. It was probably one of my favorite scenes in this entire movie. But it was crazy. It was so
And then
good.
they got their little mechanism that they planted so that when they, got each other, they would just spray all that
Yeah,
fake
this is
blood
they were in the
everywhere.
They were in the splash zone at SeaWorld.
Horror film style.
Yeah, all the people that got blood, like when her neck, when he slit the neck or whatever, and she was like, shh, you just see it go on the eye.
Right? It's like a
They're
Gallagher,
like,
man.
they're looking mortified, like, this is supposed to be a children's play. Like,
Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good.
but at the end of it all, like, you see the everybody else was silent at the end, and their family
They're
comes up and
standing
they're
up and
like,
giving a
woo,
standing O.
yes.
They're supportive, man. If nothing else, they are the most supportive family.
Yeah, they are.
They are. They're good people.
Well, That's a strong one.
I don't know. They seem like they're a good unit.
They're nice people. I wouldn't say good. They're
Right.
nice
That's the
people.
difference.
They are
They don't
definitely
mean
nice.
harm.
Are you sure?
Well, I think harm is relative.
Okay.
I don't know.
Now, to those of us who understand what harm is, yes, they
Right.
mean harm. They mean lots of harm.
Yeah.
They are.
True.
Yeah. So after that, is that when they find her? Well, not find. Lurch finds her, right?
Yeah. Lurch finds her the morning after, and she's like, "Bigfoot, help me out!" And that's when he's like spraying whatever on those plants, and I'm like, they're dead. All those plants are dead.
Well, you just skipped the part when they were chilling in the cemetery, Gomez and Morticia, and they talked about how they met. Like that's their little
That's where
backstory.
that came. Yeah.
We kind of talked about that too, so we don't have to do it again, Jonna.
Well,
Just
I'm
put it in
just
your
saying,
notes
like
after
that's
this.
when they talk about that or whatever, and
What she tells
whatever.
him, she's like, yeah, because I don't know what the point is because she just like brings him out there, tells him all that stuff, and he's like, okay, bye, and then she leaves. And I was like, all right, okay, bye. Which she gives. This is so weird to me, but she gives off swinger vibes. I know we were talking about that last episode, but she gives off big swinger vibes. I'm just saying, yes. She is.
Yeah, she does.
She gives like she gives.
We'll
off
talk
like,
about that last part.
I think she realizes her power and her feminine wiles. You know,
that
so
makes her
she
a
uses
vampire.
it in a flirtatious way.
People.
Huh?
I said that makes her a vampire. If she's glamoring people.
She is a vampire, essentially.
She's a vampire. She's a vampire. She's not a witch. She's a
Maybe
vampire.
she's half vampire and half witch.
Daywalker.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
She's using none of it.
this is when things finally start to like come into play.
Right.
Fester's leaving, and now he's like, I don't want to. I'm having a good fucking time with these kids, and I'm loving this family. But he doesn't say that. He's just like, oh no, I can do it. And she's like, no, we're getting out of here. We're gonna get to that vault, or we're leaving. Those are our options. And then he's like, they're talking about throwing him this party since he wants to leave, and the party is off the fucking chain.
It is. It kind of seemed like a dope party.
Yeah, we meet Cousin It, and the only black person in this movie who has like Dracula makeup on, so he looks pale and pasty. Like I did.
He was black. Wow.
Yeah. There's no black people in this movie, like at all.
Where's this one black guy? He was adopted into the family.
That's what I'm saying. This family is weird. This dude's a vampire, though. Clearly, he's got the.
But I like how Cousin It comes in his little car and he's bumping MC Hammer.
MC Hammer is all throughout this movie. Weirdly enough.
Yeah, I did hear it another time.
Anytime you hear music in the background of this movie, it's MC Hammer. It's the only thing playing. It's too legit.
It was that same song. Too legit.
Yeah.
Too legit. Too quick.
I mean, this is 91. You're gonna be hard to get away from Hammer at this point.
Yeah. Not for sure.
But
for sure.
Song on the second one. That's the theme song of the movie.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was this one, but then I remembered it wasn't.
No, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was
waiting. So he's driving up bumping in his little car.
Cousin Ed, he's probably the coolest dude. You just can't tell. We don't know what he's saying really. And he's got this high pitched voice. We can't see his facial expressions because he's just hair.
Cousin Ed is in the new animated one, and you know who plays him?
Who?
Snoop.
Oh, get out of here!
What does it sound like? Like just Snoop?
I don't even remember because it's not like he doesn't have a huge role or anything.
Right.
But I don't remember if he talks or if he just makes like noises, but like Snoop noises.
Wow.
Which makes sense because he's supposed to be like this cool pimp looking dude.
Right.
Yeah, you get Snoop.
Wow.
Like Snoop.
I gotta watch it. Nah, I gotta watch it. I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, I heard it was good.
It's not. It's not. I'm dead serious. This isn't even my like cynical brain. It does too much.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous.
The kids said it was good.
The kids
can't take the word for everything.
I'm talking about you. Take it from an adult.
Whatever.
So then that's when the twins come on the scene, And first they come up
Full-on
to
fauna.
Gomez. Oh, and he's like, oh, and he's oh, you, what did he say? Oh, hey, welcome. You're just as beautiful as ever, or whatever. And they're
Well,
just
he
like,
says like twice the beauty or something like that. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
Morticia said. You're twice
oh
the
yeah,
woman I
Oh,
am. Well, they are.
they call him a flirt, and he was like, and she's like, oh, more. They're like, Morticia, oh, you're lucky that you got him. He's like, oh, please, I could never compete with you. You're twice the beauty I am, and stuff like that. And it's all cutesy. And then Fester's still not there because the mother's still trying to get into the vault, or she's like, I'll be there, but you got to go to keep up appearances, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes like he never left, and Gomez has a new change of clothes. And this is where we get this dope ass
Wait,
mamushka.
Mamushka.
oh no. Before the Mamushka, one part you see when he's getting ready, that's when Wednesday walks up on them talking about
Oh, him and the
Oh,
mother.
yeah.
their
Yeah.
plan.
Wednesday discovers Fester is a fraud. I have it right there in my notes.
Not reading your notes. Yeah, so she overhears their conversation while she's shaving his head or whatever, and then I guess they see her, and she tells him to run after her, and she goes down to her room under this little hatch where her little chute ends up coming out into the cemetery, and she runs and hides in the
Oh,
cemetery.
wait, but what made me mad about that part now, because these are the kind of things that bug me. Because, so remember when she went through the floor to slide down the thing and he couldn't find the spot to get in there at first? And he's like trying to hit the floor to find the opening. That took some time. How did he catch up to her so dang quickly when he got
I
outside?
think. Well, I don't think he went down the slide. I think he
I
like.
know, but he still was
I'll tell you how.
occupied with that for a minute.
Movie magic. It's the same way that
Yeah.
Jason, who has never run a day in his life, can keep pace with running teenagers. It's bullshit. It's just movie magic. It just doesn't make any
But
sense.
Donna, do you remember? I am not kidding. That time, that Halloween, and when me, you, Maya, and Amanda went to that little haunted
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
And so when we were coming, we got all freaked out. We come out, we're like holding on to each other, trying to run down the street. I swear to you, this guy was not running, but it seemed like he was still close to us.
He was just steadily walking like at a decent pace. That's what he was doing. He was probably doing what Michael Myers does when
Right.
the
And
camera's not
somehow
on
it just
him.
it
Just
didn't seem
doing
like we
that.
were making enough progress.
That's because you guys are slow.
Well, we just
No,
that
look,
you.
let me tell you, we had went to the Queen Mary one time, me, Malcolm, Daniel, and Malcolm's friend Sean. And we were coming out there. They had to do with the fake chainsaw and all that stuff. And I was in the front, don't know why, but I was in the front of this pack. And when we get to the end, all I hear is Daniel saying, move. So I push myself to the side. And like one by one, it goes, vroom, vroom, vroom. And this is the craziest thing. It looked like the Powerpuff Girl shit when they fly and they go in different directions. That's how they ran out. They both got out. I think like Sean went straight, Malcolm went to the left, Daniel went to the right. It was crazy, man. It was
That would piss me off because my thing every time I think of like being in a scary movie, I'm like, stay together, stay together.
oh, dude, that was a
That's what
smart
we
move.
were doing. That's why we
No,
were so slow, because we were all four. We were bundled up
look,
together.
I'm gonna tell you, staying together only works if you believe that you can take him down. If you can't stay together,
I think teamwork always is gonna work in this situation.
that's what I'm saying. If you can take him down, like if it was like me, Daniel, and Malcolm, I'd be like, yeah, we could knock this nigga out. You know what I mean? But if it was like me, you, and like Maya, like we got to split up, bro. Y'all
Hey,
go.
as a kid, I felt like I could take on a lot. I was like, I'll do it. I'll take him on. I'll do it. My dad taught me: kick him between the legs, poke him in the eyeball, scream and run. Like,
Oh, he told you scream and run.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he gave us the other option, which is uppercut him, right?
I figured I watched enough like movies from like martial arts and fighting to, I know to use my elbows.
Ask your brother why that doesn't work in real life.
Why?
This nigga got into a fight with this kid when we lived in Pasadena. This kid, his name was Ben. I'll never forget him because he
Oh, his name was Ben. You remember that? I never remembered the kid's name
I
until now.
fought him too. I fought him later because he pissed me off. He was an asshole. He was a neighborhood bully. That's basically. And
Yeah.
he was punking Malcolm, and then Malcolm told Dad. Dad made him come out. There was a whole circle of adults, mind you, watching these kids fight.
What?
And also tried to jump kick this nigga like a Ninja Turtle, and it's his ass whooped. And yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. I tell you that much.
It's true.
I've
It's
always
true.
wanted to try something like a movie like Move, and then I know it probably be
doesn't work.
regrettable.
It's not
It
gonna
doesn't
go
work.
well.
It doesn't work, man. This shit doesn't work in real life. Like if you look at any martial arts movie, you're like, okay, this is cool. But then when you realize that it's a carefully choreographed dance, it's one thing. Just watch like UFC. All these dudes are trained in martial arts, and these fights look disgusting because it's just they're all waiting to see what happens most of the time. Like you can learn all the kicks and twists and stuff like that, but applying them in real life is a whole different situation.
Well,
man.
and predicting the next person's move it's
easy when you know what's gonna happen. You could be like, oh yeah, Bruce Lee would kick anybody's ass. I'm like, all those fights are choreographed. We don't know what the fuck Bruce Lee would do in a real fight. You know what I mean? It just sounds good because we've seen what he could do in a movie. But I can tell you, like somebody had said it, who would win in a fight, Bruce Lee or Michael Jai White? And I was like, oh, they asked Michael Jai White that, and he was like, I would win. He was like, because I'm bigger than he is, and I'm stronger than he is, and I'll beat the shit out of and it's hard to disagree.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he was like, because he's a martial artist as well, but you're using logic, not real life logic, and if you put Bruce Lee in front of Michael Jai White, I'd be like, yeah, Michael Jai White will fuck this thing up. He's a big dude, and he's also trained, so it's not like you have an advantage.
Yeah.
He has the advantage. He has all the advantage you have, and he's stronger.
Yeah. No, that's no contest.
But yeah, you guys got caught because you were slow. But yeah, we danced the mamushka because he couldn't find Wednesday, and
it was perfect. It was perfect. He remembered all the moves. He immediately.
I mean, he was just in there because I was waiting for him to mess up.
We had to pause the movie because I was like, okay, is this Fester or is it not?
Well, at this point, like I've known like since when I was a kid too. Remembering, I'm like, have they not established that they're his brother? I'm like that he's their brother. Like he's
the only one who's still a holdout. Him and Wednesday apparently he knows he's not, or he believes he's not, and Wednesday is like, nah, son, that ain't fucking Fester. Like
she seems like she's just a skeptic of everything, and you find that in Addams Family Values. Like
that's good.
She's a hardcore skeptic.
You need skeptics. Skeptics are good for you.
Yeah.
True that. I mean, you can't have all skeptics. You need some balance.
Yeah, in the end, like their skepticism and hers especially was wrong. Trying to fight so hard because
she wasn't wrong though. That's the thing. Like, yeah, she was wrong. Like in the grand scheme of things,
right?
But she wasn't wrong because he wasn't really Fester.
Right, because he didn't know it was Fester.
He didn't know. It was Fester.
Right,
and all his behavior, and she's never met him. That's the thing. She's a skeptic, and she's never met him.
Right, the kids had never met him before.
You can just feel something off about him. She was just like, all right. He kind of won her over after the play, but then it was that moment when she saw when he was like, oh, mother, and this and that, and they were doing gross stuff, and she was shaving him like a weirdo. And it was gross. And she was like, oh, you're not Fester. I knew it, you fraud. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much
Yeah.
Well,
the mamushka, and it's a really highly it's a precise dance because you use knives, you're juggling knives, and then at one point you let the knife go down in his throat, like he tosses it, and then Fester catches it with his throat, and it seems like he knew every cue, and that's a pretty precise dance. Because what the fuck is a mamushka?
I'm clear. It's definitely like a what's it called? Eastern European word from one of those countries like Russia, something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they made it up, but yeah,
we'll see. I want to look it up later, but
I know.
I'm sure Addams Family would be the only.
Hey Google, what is mamushka?
But yeah, so then we find Wednesday, and then we do the vault thing. But there is a part in this dance that is very important, or not the dance, but the party that's important is that Tully talks to the twins. And they let him know that the fight was big, blah, 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 whatever. But the important thing is that Fester is back, and now he is head of the Addams estate because he's the older brother. Everything falls to him. Him leaving put Gomez in charge. So that's where we get that part. Mm-hmm. And then we find out that's when Tully gets the idea, basically, like, we don't even need to do all this extra vault bullshit. We can literally just kick them out because Fester's the older brother. And that's basically what they do. They go to the judge who hates them, and he's just like,
Well,
"Oh yes, this is amazing."
yeah.
Yeah.
He says it. He mentions it. He was like, well, he's already biased because he pretty
He
much
doesn't like
mentions the joy he got out of
doing
doing this,
stuff.
being the judge
Yeah.
He
of
said
this.
he gives me well because they kick him out. They kick him out, and Gomez is like, "Don't worry, justice will prevail." And then they find out who the judge is, and you already know it's about to go south. And he's like, it gives me great pleasure to basically say fuck you.
And he's like, these are
Pretty much.
yours, a whole bucket of golf
He was like
balls that he
everything,
probably
because he was like everything in the out of the state goes to Fester except for this bucket of golf balls, and he's just laughing. And they have to move out, and it's pretty fun because now they're living in this motel, and they're selling arsenic laced lemonade, and that's what I was like, because Keanu was like, they're killing people right there in the open, and no one's paying attention. And that's when we meet what's her face, who's in the second one, and she's like, "Do you want Girl Scout cookies?" Or she asked them if they're made from real lemons, and she's like, "I only eat stuff made out of real lemons." And then she's like, "How about I'll buy some lemonade if you buy some Girl Scout cookies?" And Wednesday's like, "Are they made out of real Girl Scouts?" She gives that chuckle, but Wednesday and Pugsley's face looked at her like, "No, like for real."
Are they really?
He just walks away. But yeah, it's Gomez going into like, this is where the movie is like, at this part it's like 20 minutes of this movie left, and I'm like, oh my god, let's hurry this up.
Right. That's where I was going in and out.
I like how Morticia, she's looking for work, and
Ooh, wait, Mom, you are
What?
on to something. Remember when you said that she's a witch? They asked
Yeah.
her what she majored in college, and she goes spells and incantations.
No, she said spells and hexes.
Whatever.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Yeah, so basically with that, and then of course that's when like she goes, "Oh, I'll just put liberal arts," and I was like, "Shut up." I don't know
Yes.
Yes.
wasn't a good one.
But they hired her anyway, and she reads that story to the kids, and it was terrible. I forget which one it was, but it was Hansel and Gretel.
And she tells her, she goes, and Hansel pushes that poor defenseless witch into the oven.
Yeah.
And all the toddlers are crying at the end. They're like, "Oh God!"
Yeah, it's crazy.
So okay, I just read something. I was just like the mamushka, the dance of brotherly love is what it's called.
That's what he says too.
Yeah, right. But it says actually the word mamushka is a word. I think it's Russian. It means mom, mommy, mom, or mother. And it just says the mother is a central figure that from the dawn of time has passed down generation to generation the culinary culture of her country or region. So I think they kind of made it up.
Yeah. They heard a word and it sounded good.
Yeah.
Mamushka.
Mamushka. Now that I think about it, Mamushka. Okay.
I like how what's his name?
Look at this guy.
I know, like what is this? What is this?
Yo, don't talk. Don't, none of you.
We're literally at the end of this movie.
Mom, you are late. And secondly, I told you how to drive.
I want to hear it. Hey, you're
done. Some nerve coming in like
anyway,
an hour and a half later.
Yo,
anyways, where are we at? Where we're at?
I can't drive while I'm doing the thing. Sorry.
This is where we're at now, right? So Morticia goes to go talk to Fester. She goes to the estate. She's like, "Hey, I'm here to talk to you." And it's like the easiest trap of all time. They immediately just start fucking strapping her to the thingamajigget.
Oh yeah, I read that part. Stupid.
I think she knew if she was became like some kind of damsel in distress, somehow Gomez was gonna come after and try and help anyway.
I think she just got captured. I just think
it's the awareness factor. They're always thinking oddly of the best of, you know what I mean? She's like, oh, if I just talk to him, he'll get it or whatever. And it's just like, no, he's under the control of this crazy lady.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
I
saying.
like how they tie her up. And
they put her on
Dr.
the
Pinterswash, or what's her name?
Gosh.
Craven or whatever, tells
Crack-
Tully to tighten it or whatever. And she's like, oh, and she's like, you've done this before.
Oh my god, that's what I'm talking about. Those swinger vibes. Those are those swinger vibes I'm talking about, man. She is like, she's into the whole thing.
That one was like,
Wait,
she doesn't
hold
care.
up.
So-
You said where this shit was a swinger, dude?
Are you gonna?
Did you say
look?
swinger?
Be real. Be real. Do you think she does not give off swinger energy?
that was pretty blatant. That was
She's
pretty
really-
blatant.
It
She gives
is.
off swinger
I don't know. I don't.
Gomez not so much, but she definitely gives off
Yeah,
swinger
no, you're
energy,
right.
bro.
I can see that.
And
No,
it
you're
was
right.
pretty. It was
She-
pretty.
She brings that sensuality to whoever she talks to, man, woman,
That's
or other.
true.
She does
That's
not give a
true.
shit.
That's true.
She does.
That's why she was like, oh yeah, stretch it. He's
She's no
like,
stranger to
torture.
torture. Yes.
But
She loves it. She loves the torture.
So maybe more like they got a little S&M going on too.
It's very clear that this family is.
that's a crazy family
But I love how what's his name? What's Han's name again?
thing.
Thing. Ah, yeah. Thing. I love he went with her, didn't he?
No, he followed her.
Oh,
He
he
followed
followed her.
Yeah.
Well, so that's when he goes back and he's trying to let Gomez know, and that's when he's trying to sign, and he's like, I can't understand you when you
When
stutter.
you stutter, that was fine. That was
Check
funny.
this out. Check this out. This is what is like when it's like that double-edged sword, like Mom was talking about. Like Gomez isn't dumb, but he's also not dumb. Like he knows sign language. It was just the speed that confused him.
Yeah.
The thing was like, all right, fuck it, Morse code. And then Gomez is like, all right, I got this. Mortician, trouble, stop. Send help immediately, stop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this dude knows.
Yeah. One of those people who are smart but also dumb.
Yeah, like smart dumb guys. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
One of them is here. I was talking about me. Dude, where'd you go? We're not talking about.
Hey, y'all don't hear that?
So
No, dude, nobody hears
All
anything.
of you. Every last one of y'all sounds like you're like speaking in robot voices. It might be only-
it's happening to him now.
That's all. Hey, you Mom's curse. You were here last. It's on you. That's
Probably
usually
on me.
Mom
Oh,
usually
I
gets
have
the curse.
I have
It's
to
on
fix
you
it.
now.
All right. So they're in there, whatever. It's so funny how he has to make an entrance to go save her. He literally flips through the window.
Oh yeah, he has to make it interesting.
And then because then he starts sword fighting with what's his face again. It's obviously like an unfair match. Like, chill. Let's stop.
Like, stop.
Like the stakes are super high right now. They're not. But what happens is they do this. They
That's better.
They somehow they're like, oh, we gotta go. We gotta get to the vault. Fester, come with us, because the mother starts insulting Fester like an idiot. Like, come on, why do people do that? Like, I think we talked about that last week too. Like, you do dumb things in moments that you shouldn't do them in, where she's just
right.
oh, you idiot, you imbecile, you can't do nothing right, and all this other stuff. And I was like, you need him to do this for you. Why are you
insulting him? Why are you insulting him? You're like, what's that about? Huh? Like,
He's obviously had it up to here, and he figures he's like, you know what, this is an opportunity. I like this family or whatever. He's like, screw her. What does she know?
Like, don't move, Gomez. We know that's the wrong book. Wink.
Which made it kind of obvious.
Very obvious that he
did.
It was super obvious.
Like, smiling. And then Gomez, who doesn't even whisper, is like, good show, old man. I was like, just start shooting the gun. Just start shooting the gun now. They're plotting some shit.
Yeah. Well, he threatens them. He's like holding it like it's a gun and he's about to pull the trigger.
Do you see what the book was, though, by the way? It apparently was Hurricane Irene. I didn't know they made a book about the hurricane.
That's right. It was weird. I remember that. That's weird, dude. Like,
that's weird.
It said Hurricane Irene on it?
Yeah, it's like Hurricane Irene.
Yeah.
The name of the book. So
I thought it just said hurricane.
no, what's this book about? Like, who are the cannibals?
Yeah.
Hurricane?
Maybe it's just different stories, different things going on in this hurricane.
I don't know, man. It was just
Who
weird. It was
knows?
just a little weird to me.
It was a
But
random book placement
he
for
starts.
sure.
He uses it against them, and then it also strikes the lightning on them, and that's significant in literally the next scene because they get thrown out the window into two graves that are already marked for them, which Pugsley and Wednesday, who didn't know anyone was there, are already ready. Like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
And
Well,
then all
maybe
of a
Gomez was like, "Come on, kids, go dig their graves," and he knows exactly what to do.
it's funny because it's like they land in those graves face down, and all of a sudden it's like I think Pugsley is like, "Are they dead?" And Wednesday's like, "Does it matter?
Does it matter? Does it matter?
That's out of line. That's out of line.
She was a tall little piece.
Wednesday was the coldest person
I mean,
in that movie.
it got even better in Addams Family Value too.
Yeah.
No, she does.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why I was
crazy.
really you would have picked that one because that one is.
I know.
Yeah,
now I'm
right
thinking about it. Dang.
Yes.
And I just
Especially
love
that scene
what's her
with the
name?
play.
Joan Cusack.
Joan Cusack. Honestly, you show me a movie with her in it that is not going to be enjoyable, and
Oh my god!
Every time.
Like her.
Every time. She's
time.
the greatest. I love her.
Joan is hilarious. She's funny.
So basically, we get to the next scene. Fester gets his memory back because the lightning that struck his brain did it, and it turns out, hey, that was the real Fester.
That was Fester.
The mom
Well,
also
he explains that he was found in a tuna net or something like tuna fish net.
He was found in a tuna net.
So it's either he did make it to the Bermuda Triangle and something happened, or he was trying to and something happened.
The mom basically says it during the scuffle. She's like, "Oh, I wish I never would have found you," and blah blah blah, all that stuff. So then you're like, okay, because it feels like almost like the writers forgot to put it in, and then we're just like, we did not explain this at all.
We never explained this whole thing.
They didn't.
We got to get this in here somehow.
Well, I think they were trying not to do it and be obvious, and it was probably a hard thing to place earlier on without letting on too much.
I would have preferred the obvious because then at least it becomes like a conflict between Fester of who he is, and that would have had more weight. Like,
but then that's too heavy. They're trying to keep it light. I think
and it's supposed to be goofy, yo. Like it's really supposed to be goofy too, like in a sense.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It could have still been the same movie because he was doing that throughout this entire movie already. Where he was kind of enjoying being Fester, but he's still like, I'm not Fester. What was his name? I already forgot. Gordon.
Name.
Yeah, he's Gordon, and we thought she was Barbara.
He doesn't even look like a Gordon.
Barbara. He doesn't look like a Gordon at all.
I don't know because he looks like a Fester.
I don't know. Yeah, he definitely looks like a Fester.
But the explanation is amnesia essentially, and
that's
what I love though is Tully's, I guess now ex-wife. Now she's hitting it off with it.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the movie. That's it. They're playing Wake the Dead in the cemetery, and
and then Morticia and Gomez, they do their cute romantic kiss again.
This to me is the best sequel setup of all time because it's not like in your face, like, oh, next time. It's just like she's just like, yeah, feel that stomach right there. There's a baby in there, and then it's like, all right, cool, equal time. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It basically what it does is it doesn't put too much pressure for a sequel.
Right. It leaves it. It leaves it available to do so, but it doesn't promise it.
Yeah, it doesn't go, welp.
Smart.
There's a sequel coming. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like
right. It can end there, and it still would have worked.
Same movie. It's fine. It's not like a lot of times, like with the Marvel movies, like when in first Iron Man, when you get Terrence Howard going next time, and I'm like, we know. All right, we know. You don't have to set that up. You don't have to. We know who you are.
Well, I think they have to get better. I think they have to get better at it. At the setups down the road.
That was terrible.
Now what we do is every movie has three stinger scenes.
I mean, that was literally the first MCU movie.
Yeah,
he literally said next time though. Yeah, but he literally said next time though. Yeah. He literally said what he said next time though. It was pretty much gave it away. They didn't have it. They didn't have it down.
That was trash. I honestly think it's worse now though, because now every Marvel movie has like 16 stinger scenes at the end of the movie to set up 17 different movies.
Or worse, or wait, or worse. Now, if you watch anything like after Moon Knight, we keep
You keep waiting. Stop. It's a show.
Because that's gonna happen. They're not gonna have any after.
It's Marvel.
No,
so you just don't know.
They're not gonna have any more after scene things, and then they're just suddenly gonna have one on episode 8, and it's just gonna be like,
but guess what?
No, they did that with
nothing after.
No, Jonna, they did that with WandaVision. They didn't have it at first. And
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's gonna come up out of nowhere randomly.
But also, WandaVision was very underwhelming.
I liked it.
Well, you can like it, but it was bad. There's nothing wrong with that.
I just didn't like how everything was just like, I'm having issues.
The whole movie was her being a little whiny baby.
Well, what else is new?
The whole thing was her saying, he's not dead. He's not dead. He wasn't killed.
Point is, this movie set up a sequel subtly without trying to
saying anything.
You in the mouth with a sequel, and it was dope. 2 years after, like literally, I think 2 maybe. So it's not bad. I don't know.
Hey, sequel is fire.
I don't. Yeah, Mom's gonna look it up. But while we do that,
Addams Family was in 1991.
Yeah,
and then Addams Family Values. Dang, that's crazy. 1991. Yep, you're right. It was in 93.
Yeah, see, like 2 years after, so it was perfect.
Yeah.
Wow. A little bit. We got to get Christina Ricci a little more age on her, so she could be every adolescent boy's crush for a while, and it worked.
Not gonna lie,
it worked.
Your toxic expectations of females.
Facts. Facts.
Yeah. It is what it is, man. She's no
all right. So
you know what time it is. Who wants to go first? John goes
I'll
last.
go first since it was my movie.
No, go last because it's your movie.
Yeah, you're right. That's how that works.
All right.
I'll go first.
All right.
So I will say, when I first saw it a long time ago, the surprise factor, if you will, of it being a movie was great. So it was like, wow, oh, look at that. They're doing this. Whatever. Okay, now for me, I was kind of like, it was okie doke, but it did enough. I'll give it 7.
Well, 7's not bad. 7's not bad. All right. You guy, Malcolm, go ahead.
That's cool right there.
Final.
Really?
All right. Well, I like the movie, but I really like the second one, and I don't want to judge it off that. But the first one was cool. It was a cool for it to be Addams Family was pretty dope. You know what I mean? Yeah. I enjoyed it. They picked the right people to play the people. Is what how I feel. I feel the characters were carefully casted for this role because they kept them for the second one. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that was on purpose. But overall, it wasn't that great. The second one was better. I give it a 6.
All right, that's fair. For me, I kind of feel like the same way Mom did. This was cool. When I first saw it back in the day, it was oh man, this is interesting. But watching it now.
What the heck?
He's like, back to you.
All right. Like I was saying, I keep hitting this stupid mouse, these side buttons, and these gamer mouses are the worst.
I feel like you did that on purpose. I can't stand you, crazy.
So what I was saying is, I was the same thing with Mom. When I saw it, it's good. It's not a bad movie at all. I'm never gonna say it. I think it's still entertaining, but it just had watching it again is there's a lot that I can pick apart. And problem. So it's for me, I'll give it a 6.5 too. It's not bad in any way.
Right.
Right.
Definitely wouldn't watch this again unless it was already on.
Right.
Or we were doing it for a show like this. So
right. Yeah, exactly.
My turn. I think it doesn't do the same thing for me that it did when I was younger. Yeah. I think it was just more of an interesting to see. I already knew it was a show, an old show. I've caught it a couple of times, although I wouldn't watch the old show like that. But I did like it. the concept of a different family, a really odd family. So I mean, but watching it again now, I'd probably say I'm hovering between 6.5 and a 7 out of 10.
So which is it?
I said I'm hovering
and
between there. I'm. Do you want me to say? Do you want me to say 6 and
three
5/8?
quarters.
What do
I
you want
bet
me to
you it
say?
was like 6.8. So yeah, that's fine. We'll give you a 6.8.
All right, 6.8. I like to go odd numbers, so yeah. But I still like it, especially for the fact that I do love the cast. Like they kind of almost couldn't do better.
No, that's true. That is true. I
I
think
agree.
a lot of people, because it depends. I've seen a lot of pictures, which I hope this never happens. Which one being Johnny Depp as Gomez, and I don't even remember who they have as Morticia,
Yeah.
but no Johnny Depp. I'm
No.
sorry. Just because he
Hell
It's like,
no.
please don't. Just
just because
please
Don't
he
do
looks
that.
don't.
doesn't mean he should be playing one. Like I don't need him to play a corpse just because he's.
Nah, not
Oh
at all.
my gosh.
That's not even a good choice.
And then I think
Like,
the other one was like Oscar Isaac and Christina Ricci playing Gomez and Morticia, which I think is better. But I think
Big Oscar Isaac, actually.
I could. But I think personally, if we do this again, live action, we got to do what we got to do for everything. Just like with this Wolverine thing, and they're talking about, ooh, Daniel Radcliffe's like, no, give me a nobody.
no, don't,
Oh,
no,
I saw that.
Dude,
I saw
don't
that.
have that argument. I really think he would be good. He's not all
No,
tall. You know, Wolverine's supposed to be a
no,
little shorter.
no.
Like,
That's not the problem. The problem is with when you get Daniel Radcliffe, some things are hard to look past. You put him in
like
that role, we're just gonna look at him as
Harry
Harry Potter.
Potter.
I've seen
That's
people
I
it.
don't know.
transform. That like
Oh,
I
even
don't
when
know.
that's true, but it's not, but it's harder for different. Look at think about it. When Christian Bale played Batman, his biggest role up to that point was American Psycho. And most of the people who watch Batman probably didn't see American Psycho like that. You look at even look at Hugh Jackman. What did he do before Wolverine that was huge?
Yeah.
He was a stage
No,
actor.
nothing really. Yeah. No.
He was cast,
Yeah.
and I'm sure people were like, no way. And he made it work. Why? Because there were no
Yeah.
real expectations on him. When you
Yeah.
put even like Robert Pattinson, from what I hear, he exceeded what was supposed to be done, and that's luck. It doesn't happen like that all the time. When you cast big name people in roles that people love, we're talking comic books.
oh,
And
Right.
Ben
comic
Affleck as Batman.
look at the shit he got. That's what I'm saying. Like
He
Yeah.
was better,
He got a
way
lot
better
of
than
shit.
expected, though.
he was, but
I
look
feel
at
like
the
the same
But
can be
no, I know what
regular
he's saying. He's saying
Daniel
the
Radcliffe.
plaque. I mean, and truthfully, that's the way I felt about it before seeing Suicide Squad when they were casting Will Smith. And
as
I was just like,
Deadshot,
oh
yeah.
my gosh, he's just going to take over
I
that
didn't see it either.
character.
I didn't see it
But
either.
I was actually, pleasantly surprised in terms of the character, but he still got the flack because he's so big
He's
that
big.
it just was
He's too big
overshadowing.
for the role. That's
Right.
what
And see,
happened.
with these kind of movies, especially comic book, that you
You're
don't
nobody.
want the person to overshadow the character. And
You
Yeah.
that's
have
what
to,
happens a lot of times.
you got to, because even look, like Robert Downey Jr. has been around for a while, but but at that point, Robert Downey
Yeah,
Jr.'s
he
career
had been off the scene
was in
for
a
a
nosedive.
long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only
He was
time you saw Robert Downey Jr. on TV is
in
because he
the
was in court.
news. Yeah, I'm saying.
Fact.
Because he was in court.
Fact.
But anyway, so next week we are finishing out our small screen to big screen families. That's what it is. It works. And so
I
what do
like
you got?
that. I like that.
What do
Okay.
you got? What do
It
you
only
got?
took us to the end to get that, but that's okay.
Terrible.
So it's me. And we are going to do, well, it's kind of the movie that inspired this whole little thing this month. And I'm going to do the Very Brady movie.
Yeah, yes. Oh my
There
god,
we go.
I hope I love this movie. I haven't seen it in so
I
long.
know.
Oh no.
But I remember this movie being
No, wait, hold on. You're not talking about the Brady Bunch, are you?
yes.
Yes.
Oh man. All right.
Yes. You
Let's
must
go.
watch it.
So
That
yeah,
movie, that movie was so
that's-
corny.
anybody got
That movie-
anything
that-
else?
that movie was
Save
corny.
it for the thing.
Wait. Here's the thing. So I'm putting Mom and Jonna. I'm putting you both on the spot. You got to come up. Next month is Mother's Day. So you guys are in charge of coming up with the challenge. I'm putting you both on the spot here. So by next week, when we end this episode, somebody has to have come up with something.
Okay. We can do it. Between
Agreed?
us.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We got it.
All right, so
I'm a mother now, so I can oversee these things.
been a mother for like 3 years now. Don't act like
Yeah, what's up you
It's
now?
still new. It still feels new.
it just happened. So yeah,
Now.
on that note, yeah, we'll see you guys
Oh,
next time.
the outro.
Yeah,
No
we don't
outro.
have one.
We can walk out like, hey, thing. No.
Oh my god, I don't know what's going on. This is our outro because we don't have one.
Wrong.
Oh my gosh, Tracy,
All right,
come on, man, come up with something.
Stop putting everything on me. All right, I'm doing
Yeah,
all the
that's
stuff.
trash. Hey, Tracy, that's terrible effort. You should get something else. That was not good.
That's it.
That's it. Still
How about an audience cheering?
other left.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we did good. Bow,
Wait,
bow.
why does it sound like dolphins, dude? Or
I'm out of here, bro. We're done here.